What's going on, y'all? My name is Spice. Welcome to Spice Can't Fish. Got another Soft Plastic Showdown episode coming for you. Today, we're talking big worms.
Sorry, what heard them all before. Now you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. All alone I was what you thought. Coming back for more. Wanted me to go and now I'm gone. Congratulations. 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 Say sorry, what heard them all before. Now you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. All alone I was what you thought. Coming back for more. Wanted me to go and now I'm gone. Say sorry, what heard them all before. Now you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. All alone I was what you thought. Coming back for more. Wanted me to go and now I'm gone.
Alright, y'all, so I got 4 worms sitting out right here, and we're just going to go through them real quick. I'm going to talk about each of them individually, and what I think each of them excels at, or when I would use one over the other, and then we'll rate each of them. So first up, we have the Zoom Old Monster. So this is a 10.5 inch bait. As you can tell, the body is almost half of the worm, which means the tail is also almost half of the worm. That means is that this huge ribbon tail on the back is going to get a ton of action as well. So this lure is going to be good for in the summer when fish are really keying in on larger presentations and you're really trying to get a big bite. So for action for this one, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3 because I think that honestly it had a lot more action than I thought it was going to. This is probably going to become one of my new favorite big worms, I guess. It's a little bit larger in profile, but it still has a ton of action, and that body isn't super big, so it doesn't actually have a huge profile. For the quantity per pack, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3 because this comes with 9 per pack, which is pretty good for a ribbon-tailed worm. For the color selection, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3 because this lure comes in 28 colors, which gives you a ton of options when you're looking to imitate whatever you want. For the price, I'm going to give this lure a 2 out of 3 because it comes in at $4.09, which is on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to ribbon-tail worms, but it's still just about average price. And then for the other category, we're going to give it a 1 for salt content because it definitely does have salt. I think these are like the super salt plus ones or whatever, but they definitely have salt in them. They don't have any scent as far as I can tell. They just have like a plasticky kind of smell. And then they have and then I'm going to give it a 1 for quality plastic because this is definitely made out of quality plastic. Alright, that's going to bring the Zoom Old Monster to a total of 12 out of 15, I think it was. Alright, second up we have the Game Changer Lures Ear Eliminator. So I've actually used this lure a bit, not a ton, but I use it for like a chatterbait trailer. But I wanted to include it in this list because it has the same kind of tail as a ribbon tail. So you can kind of fish these pretty much the same way as you would a ribbon tail. I just have also found some luck using these as like chatterbait, swim jig trailers, stuff like that. Work pretty well for that as well. But so for price on these ones, I'm going to say it's going to get a 1 out of 3 because at $5.49, this is the most expensive thing that we're going to look at today. the most expensive option. For color selection, I'm going to give this thing a 2 out of 3 because it has 9 colors, which is enough to get you by, but I really think they would, benefit from having a few more colors added to that one. For quantity per pack, I'm going to give this a 1 out of 3 because this lure only comes in, I think it's 5 per pack. It's either 5 or 6 per pack. And that's just not a ton. I mean, you don't really go through them very fast, so it's not that big of a deal, but for $5.49, you'd expect to get a little bit more per pack. For the action of this lure, I'm just going to give it a 2 out of 3. I mean, I've seen underwater footage of this lure before, so I kind of knew what it looked like already, but it doesn't have like a huge amount of action by itself. It's just got that big, long, kicking tail, which, pretty much just works as your average Ribbontail does. I just think it works a little bit better for trailers and stuff, just because it's a little bit smaller profile as opposed to being a really long worm or something. It's pretty compact. They come in 3.5 and 4.5 inches. And then for the other category, we're gonna give it a yes for scent because it has like some garlicky scent on it. A yes for salt because it definitely has salt in it, and then a yes for quality plastic. So that's a 3 out of 3 for that category. So that's going to bring the Game Changer Lures Eliminator to a total of 8 out of possible 50. So third up, we're going to be talking about the Berkley Powerbait Power Worms. This is again the 7-inch one. They come in a bunch of different sizes. They have like a 4-inch, a 7-inch, a 10-inch, and like a 12-inch, I think. But this is the 7-inch. This is pretty much the size that I'll almost always stick with. Usually, if I'm going to a bigger size, I'll go towards that Old Monster or something like that. But yeah, this has been a go-to for me for ever since I started really hard bass fishing. I used to throw these just weightless or on like a really light Texas rig, and I just get smoked. Especially in this color. This is one of my confidence colors for like in the summer. For some reason, that purple just really works. I don't know what it is, but they really like that purple in the summer. So first of all, for price, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 3 because at $4.99, it's right around the middle price range for a Ribbontail worm. For quantity per pack, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3 because it comes in 13 per pack, which is, that's the most that we've looked at out of anything that we've seen today. So, that's pretty good for value. And I think you can also buy them in like a pack of 100 if you really want to buy a bulk pack of these, but I honestly don't go through enough of them like every year to, buy 100. But I think that's also an option. For color selection, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3 as well because this lure is offered in 29 different colors, which is, definitely more than enough to get you through. So whatever y'all would want to pick out, I think they have the color for it. Now, for the action of these, I was actually a little bit surprised, but not in a good way necessarily. I, just have a ton of confidence in these things, so I fish them often. But I thought that Ribbontail was going to move a lot more than it did. It just kind of, I don't know. It didn't move that much. It's not that big, so looking at it, I wasn't expecting it to move a ton, but I don't know, I was expecting a little bit more action. Not to say that this won't work, because obviously I've caught a bunch of fish on them, but, I honestly think now, looking at these, I might go for another one of these options. And then for the other category, we're going to give this a yes for scent, because it definitely has scent. All those power bait lures have that crawfish, baitfish, whatever power bait scent they use. They all smell like that. So yes for scent, yes for salt, because I do believe these come with salt as well. And then a yes for quality plastic, because they're made out of quality plastic. So that's going to bring the other category to a total of 3 out of 3. And the final total for the Berkley Powerbait worms is going to be 13 out of 50. And last but not least, it's going to be the Biospawn Exo Ribbon. So I've actually never even thrown this lure before. I just got it last year. I got 1 pack of them just to try out, and I never ended up getting around to it. But they look really good. They have the same body as the Exo stick or the Exo, whatever their stick bait is. It has the very same body, but then it has the Ribbontail. And their Ribbontail is actually kind of interesting because they made it so it's, here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's actually in like the Biospawn logo, like the shape of the Biospawn logo, so that's kind of cool. But These lures come in two sizes, the 7-inch and the 10-inch, and I'm going to give this lure a 2 out of 3 for quantity, because the 7-inch comes with an 8 per pack, and the 10-inch comes with 6 per pack. So again, you don't really go through Ribbontails that fast, so it's not that big of a deal, but I would think that you would, want to get a few more per pack for each. For price, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 3, because at $5.99, it is just about the most expensive thing that we looked at today. If not the most expensive. It might be tied for most expensive. For color selection, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3, because they're offered in 12 colors, which I think is, enough to get you through. They have, a color for just about every sort of situation. And they all look pretty good. They're all standby colors that work in most water clarities. So for the action of these, because of that really thin tail, and I think also it has a little bit to do with just that extra, different shape of the tail. This lure has a really hard thumping kicking action as it falls in the water. I'm definitely really intrigued by these, and I think that they look really good in the tank. So I'm going to give this a 3 out of 3 for action. And then for the other category, I'm going to give it a yes for scent, because it has I think it's like an anise scent or something, but it's definitely scented. A 1 for salt, because it definitely has salt, and then a 1 for the quality of plastic, because it's definitely made out of quality plastic. All of the Biospawn stuff is made out of good plastic. So that's going to bring the other category to a 3 out of 3, and the Biospawn Exoswim to a total of 12 out of the possible 15. Alright y'all, that's going to do it for today's video. I tried to make it a little bit short, again, just so it's easier for y'all to, sit there and watch, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button. I would really appreciate it, as well as hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me if you guys would hit that subscribe button. It lets me know that you guys like my content and you want to see more of it. And if you want to check out some more content, please feel free to check out the rest of my videos that are on my channel. Till the next time, guys, I'm out. Peace.